It doesn't matter how things start, especially if you don't get the starts that you want, like Bryce Harper. All it takes is one game, especially this early in the season. But we saw depth. We saw excitement. These teams can score a lot of runs with a quickness. And hopefully all of them will be at the end so we continue to see more bats being swung in September and October.
That was so diplomatic of you. I asked what you learned earlier in the day. You said what? The game should be played.
Oh, in L.A., yeah. Don't play in Philly anymore. We don't like the Philly weather.
Jimmy,
that was not made for TV.
That's
He had
right.
to give a TV answer. What I learned is that Bryce Harper is a bad man. But there's another bad man out there on the West Coast, Mookie Betts.
Yeah.
He is a bad man. We might be seeing two guys having a career year.
5 home runs.
Just, going off already. I think that the Dodgers are excited about Shohei, but Mookie's even more so.
5 home runs. It's been a week. What'd you learn, Pedro?
I learned that experience plays a role and inexperience plays another.
Oh, that's a T-shirt.
Yeah, because we saw it today in Cincinnati. Inexperience from a very talented young player made them
De La Cruz
fail today. And then we saw the Dodgers balance in all aspects of the game. And that's experience. That's what they have, a lot of experience over there.
Sound like
and
Papa
a
45.
very balanced team in all aspects.
That's that experience
It was
right there.
fun to watch. If you missed a second of it,
Look at you.
don't you worry about a thing. We got you. Shohei and the Dodgers welcoming the Giants to town. Welcome's a loose term. Freddie Freeman, they were greeted by this monster. I mean, all he does is hit.
That's it.
A single to right, drives in Mookie Betts from second. They got to Logan Webb early. We are not used to seeing that. 1-0 Dodgers early on. Top 3, 1 out. BA and Jeff Francoeur were saying that Michael Conforto looks more comfortable at the plate this year. I thought that was interesting. There he is, single to center. Yeah,
That's why he's
exactly.
looking more comfortable. He's healthy.
That matters, right? 2-1 San Francisco. Mookie Betts, we get it. 5 home runs, 11 RBI. It's been a week. Makes no sense. The Dodgers' new shortstop. I can't get used to saying that.
Get used to it.
I know. He's there to stay. 2-2, bottom of the 4th. Runners on first and second. Jimmy, this is what you were saying earlier. It's not just 1 through 4 in the Dodger lineup.
Right.
You got to worry about them all.
Everybody, there are no outs. They put together tough at bats. Logan Webb, who moves the ball all over the place. They found a way to bring him to the center of the plate and put some good at bats together, and they got to him because Logan doesn't usually, I can't say struggle, doesn't have to work as hard to keep himself in the game.
That was a good at-bat by Kike Hernandez. We heard from him with JP after the game. He can do it on offense and defense as well. He was all out all the time. Matt Chapman's like, really, dude? Dive and catch. And Chapman lined it to left. And
Curtis, that's an outfielder technically. But what is he? Where'd he come from?
Here we go.
Okay,
It's
that's
already
all I'm
starting.
saying.
Week
No,
1,
deny that.
Jorge Soler. Just got there. Get to know me. Solo shot off Ryan Yarborough. And it is a 5-3 Dodgers lead. The Giants just chipping away. Top of the 9th. By the way, Evan Phillips going for a 4-out save. Got Matt Chapman, and that is your ball game. They have taken the first 2 games of the series. LA taking care of business. A 6-2 start to their season. They scored early. They held San Francisco off late. We are huge fans of Logan Webb. He's a star. And I looked over at Pedro during the game because you're right. He wasn't in his rhythm, right? He's their ace. He wasn't at his best. And I see, get on tight on this. I should have got a manicure before I did this. But Logan Webb, this is what you were writing.
Yeah.
Explain yourself. What were you thinking?
First inning, he was laboring from the get-go, and that's what the Dodgers will do to you. 29 pitches. The only inning that fell pretty much into the average for Logan Webb was the second inning. But they forced him to make pitches. And even though he's so effective, he's such a good pitcher, you know that if by the third inning, he's got more than 60 pitches, that's not Logan Webb. And the Dodgers just forced him to make pitches and made him labor. This is not the Logan Webb we used to seeing. Look how they run that pitch count up. I mean, this is not usual for him. Normally he'll be in the 8th inning or the 7th inning with 80 to 85 pitches. And if you give him 96, you'll be looking at him maybe completing that game with 100, 101 pitches. That's not Logan Webb. But that's what the Dodgers can do to you. They didn't do that much damage to him, but they did enough to get him out of there with 3 1/3 and 96 pitches.
Pitch count.
That's a lot.
They put together. They had a game plan, obviously, and they stuck with it. And that's credit to the Dodger hitters. That's also credit to the hitting coach for giving them something to believe in. It worked tonight. Going forward, he's going to see them again. They're going to make adjustments, but they're going to have to work just as hard because he's going to be more determined next time.
Even starting with an opener, we're fine if you give up 2-3 because we're going to score 5-6. That's what the Dodgers do.
That's it. They continue to battle. They put themselves in deep at bats too. Like Pedro, you were talking about 29 pitches. We saw Mookie's at bat. 0-2, works back to a full count, gets the blue. Freddie Freeman, 3-2. Kike Hernandez, 3-1. These are all 4, 5, 6 pitch at bats. So if you get that opener in there, you go, okay, just keep us in the ball game. We're going to go ahead and continue to attack the opposition starter and hopefully get them out of the game, and we'll be right even the rest of the way. And that's what the Dodgers did.
From an opener to a closer, I mean, Dave Roberts called on Evan Phillips earlier, took Michael Grove out, and it worked. I mean, textbook, first pitch, roll over, ground out. I mean, how do you feel about a 4-out save in general, and how do closers feel about it?
Well, you have to tip your hat to Yarborough for sticking in there, even though he wasn't looking, and he was giving up a lot of hard hit balls, a lot of barrels, but he stuck with it. And Roberts is there some credit too for leaving him out there. He knew he was short. He knew what he was expecting, but his team picked him up right away. When you knock out Webb with 96 pitches and you have 5 runs on the board, you don't have to panic. You have everybody else to kind of fill the role. And that's what Phillips was able to do at the end. Come out and wipe out everybody.
Wipe out. And I love what you said. You can't make a mistake because Mookie Betts hit that home run in the 3rd and you guys were chanting. What were you chanting?
MVP.
You can't make a
MVP.
mistake to him, but it's not just him. The lineup's so deep.
Well, the issue is if you don't get him, it gets worse.
It gets
So you
worse.
have to get him.
worse.
That's a good point.
And that's hard to say it gets worse, but man, that's...
How does he look at shortstop to you? Because shortstop's a fluid position, and it's new to him.
Technically, it's new to him at this level, but he's an athlete.
Right?
He's played short. He's been an infielder. He knows how to use the glove. And we've seen him throughout his career take ground balls for the sake of taking ground balls. It's fun. A lot of outfielders come in and do it. It happened to be a purpose for him. And I think somewhere early on, maybe someone mentioned, hey, you might be able to move around. And if you ever want to play short, an opportunity presents itself, you can do it. The Dodgers have given him that. How does he look? I like him. We talked to him earlier, being on the backhand, learning how to use the backhand, that's going to be key. Once you get comfortable with letting that ball get deep and landing on your backside, your right leg, and use your arm, because he has a great arm, then everything else is going to be good. But if you're concerned about your backhand side, you're going to find yourself cheating over there regardless of where they tell you to play. And when balls hit to that side, you panic a little bit. You can turn a lot of those plays into...
The majority of it deferred, the largest contract ever awarded to a player in professional sports. In the week before the season, reports emerging that the superstar had been the victim of massive theft. $4.5 million in wire transfers were sent from his bank to a California bookmaker, Ipe. His interpreter fired shortly after Shohei announcing that he hadn't placed any bets of any kind on any sport, but said his interpreter was stealing from him. Shohei still with the team and playing well. Our JP Morosi is live in Los Angeles, where the games are the focus, as they should be, JP. As we say good evening to you, but there are a few investigations, and I would imagine that's hard to ignore. How's everyone acting?
Lauren, good afternoon. As you say, the federal investigation remains ongoing, as does the MLB investigation, but Shohei Ohtani continues batting second for the most closely watched team in the baseball world. As you mentioned, he has denied betting on any sports. He's also denied making any willful payments to a bookmaker. It's important to note, Lauren, that based on what we know right now, it does not appear that any suspension is forthcoming. And so we keep our focus, to your point, on the baseball transition, where the results so far have been mixed. Yes, he has had some good at-bats, some strong exit velocity, but no home runs yet. And when he spoke with reporters a few days ago, Lauren, he said that he's seeing the ball well, but his timing isn't there yet. And I do wonder if the narrative would be different if just a couple fly balls had landed over the wall at the Gochok Sky Dome in Seoul, South Korea. He had 2 balls to the warning track in Game 2 of that series that would have been out in a number of major league stadiums. Also, let's fast forward to the home opener here at Dodger Stadium. A miscue on the bases where he ran into an out. Mookie Betts acknowledging later on that he actually spoke with Shohei and said, listen, Shohei, you are faster than me. You have to be aware of that. And finally, on Saturday night, a chance for him to have that first signature moment in a Dodger uniform. He pops out with the bases loaded as the final out in a defeat to the St. Louis Cardinals. Lauren, when you think about this team overall, so many expectations. And for Ohtani, he has a pretty high bar to clear if he's going to be able to be better than last year's DH. JD Martinez went for 30 home runs and 100 RBIs for this team in the very same role 1 year ago. So we wait for the signature moment for Shohei and Dodger Blue. Maybe it happens tonight.
For better or worse, JP, my goodness, Shohei's still baseball's biggest story. Enjoy the game. Have a great call. We are jealous as heck. Thanks for the time, JP.
Thanks a lot.
And given baseball's unpleasant history with gambling, any scandal raises your eyebrows. Your initial thought when this came out a few weeks ago?
Just wow. Like, you start seeing the numbers, $4.5 million stolen, gambled. That's just a lot of money. So that raises eyebrows. And then you go, okay, what's actually happening? What's going on? What's still going to be uncovered? And I think that's what we're all sitting there waiting for. Of course, the season's starting, so a lot of eyeballs are on a little bit of everything else, but we still haven't closed the chapter in this book, and I think that's what everyone's waiting to see.
It's such a good point. We're waiting on timetable. It could be 2 weeks. It could be 2 months' time. There's a lot of questions unanswered.
Yeah, we'd never know. I was in Korea when it was breaking, and we were just having discussions about, what was going on with Shohei, the interpreter, and obviously, as you said, the history of gambling in baseball. And every year, we get preached to about gambling, and you can't gamble on baseball. But gambling is legal, so I don't know if there's anything wrong with gambling on anything other than baseball. And that's where the devil is in the details. We have to see what comes out. Everybody's always quick to judge. He did it, he didn't do it. This is a fall guy, this isn't a fall guy. We don't know what the truth is. So if we just kick back, let the man play baseball until the story comes out, federal investigators are going to do a great job. MLB is going to follow their lead. And when we get what's happening, then you can make your final decision and obviously have your opinion about what really happened.
And you said it, you're allowed to legally bet. You can't bet illegally or bet on your sport, of course. You're as focused as they come, Pedro. Is this a distraction in the clubhouse?
Not up to now.
No.
I would just say no, because I know Shohei a little bit, and I would have to say he's innocent until proven guilty. So I will try to step away from everything and let the federals do what they have to do. And to me, right now, he continues to be the biggest star that everybody wants to watch, biggest contract. I mean, for Asia, they're drawing fans like in football. I mean, it's not just Japan. All over, they're watching Shohei. So I would love to see Shohei come out of it innocent and continue to be the guy that I know that is so respectful, so great for baseball, has given us so far so many great stories to talk about. I don't want to see him be guilty. But if he is, well, he's going to have to deal with the consequences.
In the meantime, you're trying to settle in on the mound, and it's Mookie
and I want him in my lineup
and Freddie
every day.
Freeman, monsters coming at you. This lineup is a lineup for days.
Oof. You forgot about Will Smith, Max Muncy, Outman. There are no holes in this lineup, and that's. When it first came out, I'm like, okay, I know we got the big three at the top, but then where do you go after that? Then Teoscar Hernandez is in there. It's like, okay, well, there are really no outs. And we talk about this, especially as you get later in the season. Where are the outs? They don't exist in this lineup, at least not yet.
And their pitching getting better and healthier.
And they have an entire rotation on the injured list.
Danger,
Right? Coming back.
Yeah, I mean, anytime you're able to get to the ballpark, right, just get here. You play this game for a long time. You understand that you got a 162 season, and sometimes you're just going to, get to the field and feel good, and sometimes you're not. So today, obviously, getting here, we didn't know if we were going to play or not. But we got to the ballpark and ended up winning tonight, and, we'll take that.
Well, Bryce, I'm loving it because you talked to us and everything went right for you guys. So I'm going to ask you, and I have to ask you, what was it that you saw that the rest of the team couldn't figure out about Astrak starting the game?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, just trying to get him over the plate. You know, he's pretty dang good. He's got that cutter that moves a lot. He's got that slider, that changeup. So just trying to jump on him as early as I can, early and often. And Suter, man, he's had my number for a long time. So being able to get to 3-2 against him and having a good at-bat right there was huge.
Hey, Bryce, this is Grandy here. You talked earlier today about that Philly weather out there. It's drizzling, it's windy, the wind chill. And as you mentioned, you didn't know if you were going to play today. As the 31-year-old veteran on that club, how do you keep the rest of the club motivated and excited knowing, hey, there's a chance we're going to play, stay ready to play?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we got to check anybody on this team. I mean, they've been doing it for a long time. Obviously, our young guys are ready to go each night. So not really, don't really have to pump anybody up to get out here. I mean, for our fans to show up tonight in this weather, I thought we had a great crowd, and anytime we're able to come to the ballpark and play in the bank, I mean, there's nothing like it.
There is nothing like it. That is right. Thanks for the time, Bryce. Get warm. Appreciate it, as always.
Thanks, y'all.
Thank you, Bryce.
All right, big dog.
We're good luck. Tell your friends, gentlemen. I mean, how about this? The Bryce is right. We said, how's the weather? What did he say? It's Philly. It's Philly out. I said, what does that mean? Dreary as heck. He is a special player. My goodness. When it is rainy and when it is cold and maybe when you don't quite feel like being there, he says, you know what? I got you.
And stay ready. Come to the ballpark. You know you're going to have a chance to play until they tell you the game is over. I think that's just the veteran presence. That's just the mindset. And you know, in Philly, in April, you're going to have days like this, so it's not a surprise, and I think that's what gets those guys ready every day.
I kept looking on the mound, Pedro, thinking, how the heck are they getting a grip on the ball?
Well, it's simple. They know what they have. You don't really need to do much more than you normally do because, as you know, the pitchers stay warmer than the position players. So what they did was use what they had, and you saw Jimmy attack the strike zone with a lot of movement all over the place and changing eye levels from all over, from cutters. You didn't see anything straight until finally Harper got to Ashtrack for a little bit, but nobody else seemed to be centering the ball as good as Bryce Harper was doing because Harper really understands what he's going to see, especially early in the season.
Toughest position to play in the rain? Let me guess. That was a loaded question. I should have known it.
You know what? Only because, and I'll say this on a routine ground ball, because a long ground ball to the third baseman going away from the field, that is a tough throw when a ball is coming off the grass and it's wet. But on a routine ground ball, and more ground balls go to the middle of the field, yeah, it's on your mind, just making sure you get a 4-seam grip and not a 2-seam grip. And all the time, you can't control that. The runner's going up the line and you're moving left to right. And it is a scary throw to make. But myself, I used to go and get some lip balm and just had a little tackiness on it, like the Carmex, the kind of menthol, open up my pores, and that gave me a little extra grip on the ball.